Chandas that you told came from me only. I am the originate. Pravrutte, I am Saraswati Pravruta. Pravruta, I am Saraswati. This nice piece that you brought out, that is from me. It has come out of me only. I am the source for all that. Brahman, he addresses Valmiki as Brahman. Brahma addresses Valmiki as Brahman and say, Mat Chanda Teva Te Saraswati Pravruta Iyam. Okay? And then he says, Ramasya Charitam Sarvam Kuru. Use this and do the entire story of Rama. Ramasya Charitam Sarvam Kuru. Tvam Rishi Sattama. Hey Rishi Sattama, please, you do the entire story of Rama. See, this shloka is very, very important, because at the heart of this shloka lies, see, this culture, many of the assumptions we have made about life, many of the assumptions about many things in life are very different in this culture. Atra ekam udaharanam asti. For example, you are speaking, what is the subtle message in this shloka? That's why I picked up this shloka. The message is, the speaking is not that you can do. Communication, we have these modern parlance, they talk about communication, there's a channel, receiver, giver, message, all that they say. Yes, our understanding of the whole thing is different. I will explain it in a little more detail. But essentially, Shabda Brahman. If this Shabdam is coming out of this mouth in a particular sequence, these are Bhagavad Sankalpa. That's why Vivekananda went and said something in Parliament of Religions. It was Bhagavad Sankalpa. The whole crowd melted. Our perspective is like that. See, Aham Karishyami iti, that Ahankarasya Bahu Nyunata. It's not that kind of a feeling. I mean, at the end of the day, there is an agency. There is a nimitta matrameva. We are all instruments. That is a message here also that we must read. So if I am speaking well today, or if you are speaking well today, we are blessed by the God for that. We should have that feeling all the time, that if you are able to speak. So all these are there in Rigveda also. In several places, I have picked up one or two just to connect this particular idea to that. Anyway, then he says, Brahma also says, why I want you to tell the Rama story. So he says, further, Dharmatmanaha Gunavataha Loke Ramasya Dhimataha Vrittam Kataya Dhirasya Yatate Naradat Shutam. The shru in Sandhi become chu. Cha. Sha will become cha. That's why in Sandhi become Narada Shrutam. Naradat Shutam. Sandhi Chakara has come there. Anyway. So, Dharmatmanaha Gunavataha Ramasya Loke Dharmatmanaha Gunavataha Dhimataha Ramasya. So, Ramasya Katam. So, the whole thing is Kataya. The only verb in this whole shloka is Kataya. Please say. And Kataya is, the moment you catch hold of it, you can get everything out of it. That's how all I've been saying this. So Kataya is there. Kataya is please tell or write whatever you want to understand it. Now the question is, what should I say? He says Vrittam. Kasya Vrittam? Ramasya Vrittam. The Ramasya is in the previous line. Kidrishaha Ramaha. He says Dharmatmanaha Gunavataha Dhimataha. Dharmatmanaha Gunavataha Dhimataha Ramasya Vrittam Kataya. That's what he is saying. This is all he is saying here. He is saying this Rama, who is a Dharmatman, and who is a Gunavat. Gunavan, actually, Gunavataha. In Pratama Vibhakti will be Gunavan. Bhagavan, Gunavan. This is in the, Shashti Vibhakti, Gunavataha. Bhavan, Bhavataha. Bhavataha Namakim, Bhavan. So, Gunavan, Gunavataha. Bhagavan, Bhagavataha. So, Gunavataha. Everything is in Shashti now. Dhimataha. Dhiman, Dhimatah. Buddhiman, Buddhimatah. That is the Dhimatah. Okay. Dharmatmanah. Dharmatman, Dharmatmanah. Tasya. Ramasya. Vrittam Kataya. Dhirasya. Dhirasya also, it seems, that is also in sixth vibhakti. You should also only about that person only know. So, Dhirasya Ramasya. Dharmatmanah Gunavataha. Dhimataha Dhirasya Ramasya Vrittam Kataya. And then what is this? Narada Shrutam. You heard this from Narada. That was the question, no? You heard from Narada, is there a person of these attributes? That's the first sarga. So Narada Shrutam, that what you heard from Narada, write about that person. And I have blessed you with this. These Chandras and all that has come out, although you did it for a different reason. Since you are thinking, why is it happening, I am clarifying it now for you. So that's how Brahma says that in these shlokas. So, in price of speech, there are quite a bit in Rig Veda. I've just taken just one. It's called Jnana Sukta. This is called a Jnana Sukta. It is in the 10th Mandala, 71th Sukta actually. Brihaspate pratamam vacho agram yat prairatanam dadana yade esham sreshtam yadari pramasit prena tade esham nihitam guhavihi. It says Brihaspate pratamam vacho agre yat prairata namadeyam dadanaha. See, they wanted to give some names and forms. How did speech start? That's what this sukta is saying in Rig Veda. If all of us kept quiet, there was no need for a vocabulary. There is no need for a language. There is no need for anything. It says, Yat prairata namadeyam dadanaha. The rishis wanted to start naming. So, Brihaspate pratamam vachaha. So, Brihaspati started this. That's what that sukta is saying actually. Okay. Yadesham sreshtam yat yadari pramasi prerana tadesham nihitam guhavihi. So, as they had that desire to this thing, it came from the deepest part of our oneself. That's what it says. Speech at its beginning, when it first got motivated to name things, namadeyam, superior and pure knowledge dawned in them. Sreshtam. Edaritam pramasit. Hidden in their hearts came. Although they started for Namadeyam, second line is interesting. They started for Namadeyam, but they used it for sharing the greatest wisdom that they had. They used that to share. That's what it says. Now I skipped a few mantras in between just to give you. Utatva pashyanna dadarsha vachamutatva shrinvanna shrinotyenam uto tvasmai tanvam visasre jaye vapatya ushati suvasa aha. It says, actually the second mantra says, it doesn't reveal itself to everyone. Actually there is a Bhagavad Sankalpa there. It is not revealed uniformly to everyone. There is a blessing. There is a blessing involved, and there is a Shraddha involved. There is a Purva, all that. So that's what the second mantra is saying. Some people see it, but they don't get it. Pashyanna dadarsha. Vacham, they hear, but they don't understand. That's a blessing. That's what the second mantra is actually saying. In another Rig Veda Samhita, in the first, mandala, in 164 Sutta, this is very famous. This is available in 7-8 places in Rig Veda and Yajur Veda and even, I think, Atharva Veda. Samveda also will be doing the same gamma. Chatvari vak parimita padani tani vidur brahmana ye manishinaha guhatri ninihita nengayanti turiyam vacho manushya vadanti. It's a nice mantra. It says, Chatvari vak. This speech actually has 4 parts. That's what Rigveda says. Chatvari vak parimita padani. It is actually made of 4 quarters. There are 4 sections. What we are speaking, what we are hearing is not speech according to us. We have a very deep understanding of that. Chatvari vak parimita. Parimita is changes. Parimita padani. Tani, out of that four, Viduhu Brahmanaha ye Manishinaha. Only Manishina, thoughtful and deeply thought and realized people know these four. That's what the Rigveda says. In the first mandala, first 164 sutta, it says, Brahmanaha ye Manishinaha Viduhu. They will know. Not everybody will know. And then he says, why? Because Guha Trini Nihita. The three components of speech is actually buried inside you. What comes out is only the fourth part. The sound that you hear, which is what in modern day parlance speech is, they know only the sound part. Whereas our Rigveda says there are three parts into it, which bulls and bulls and bulls and actually comes out. The fourth quarter is what you hear. So it says, Guha Trini Padani Nengayanti. Turiyam, the fourth one. Turuyam Vacho Manushya Vadanti. These ordinary people who don't know anything, they know only the last part, the fourth part. They call it a speech. That's what it says. Turiyam Vacho Manushya Vadanti. Now this is referred in several places. I brought Lalita Sahasranama to show this. For example, look at here. It says, Para Pratyakchiti Rupa Pashyanti Paradevata Madhyama Vaikari Rupa Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. Devi's Nama, this is 366 to 372nd Nama. There are 7 Namas here, of which there are 4 which I have colored. Those are the 4 parts of the speech. The 4 parts of the speech are called Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, and Vaikari. The sound is called Vaikari. So what we normally hear, Turiyam Vacho Manushya Vadanti, that is called Vaikari. Whereas there is a Para, Pashyanti, and Madhyama. And there are deep explanations for it. One of the earlier classes I have a little bit talked about it. And I don't know whether in my Bhagavad Gita class, I don't know when. Long back once I have talked about it in the 17th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. When we talked about 3 types of Anudvekakaram Vakyam, all those when he did. Tapas, Sharira Tapas, Vangmaya Tapas, at that time I remember I spoke about this. So this Para, every speech that comes out finally exists as Nada Brahman. For us, everything is Brahman. That's why in Taittiriya Upanishad it says Brahmavita apnoti param. Brahmavit apnoti param. Everything is there is a nanyat, that's why it says Matta parataram na anyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mayi sarvamitam proktam sutre manigana even Gita. Our conceptualization of reality, unreal, real, that Dvaita, we leave it for the moment. Anything that we see is nothing but Brahman. So the sound ought to be Brahman. Otherwise, this very postulate is now at jeopardy. So it says, what we speak finally starts as a Shabda Brahman. That's Para. Then it becomes Pashyanti. That Brahman slowly gets its Akara. This word Akara has actually originated much later, or much earlier inside. Finally it came out as Akara. So that becomes Pashyanti. Then Madhyama, it gets that verbal shape. And then it finally comes out as Vaikari. So the Devi is meditated as, because she is after all the Lord of speech. That's why the very component of speech is you only. That's what Lalita Sahasranama says. Para Pashyan Pratyakchiti Rupa Pashyanti Paradevata Madhyama Vaikari Rupa Bhakta Manasa Hamsika. Paradevata and Bhakta Manasa Hamsika are the other 2 namas. That's why there are, and Pratyakchiti Rupa is another. There are 7 namas here, out of which 4 are related to the speech. And that's why in Lalita Sahasranama, look at all these. There is another place he says Narayani Nada Rupa. In another place he says Vagadi Ishwari. She is the Lord of Vak. So that is why Brahma said, these are all connected to that shloka which I was bringing out from the 2nd Sarga of Ramayana. We must have this deep realization that we must have a deep contemplation on this. Our speech will become much more regulated, I think. I think Mridu Vachanas will come. I think we will not shout very aggressively and use bad words. If we reflect on this idea, it will do an agraha of us. Definitely it will conquer us. That is the very idea. So he says Bhasha Rupa somewhere. says Bhasha Rupa Brihatsena Bhava Bhava Vivarjita. So this Nada Brahman, Shabda Rupa, Vag Ishwari, right? Bhasha Rupa, all these in all Sahasranamas it will be there. I have only taken from Lalita Sahasranama. Point is, this is exactly what we should understand from that shloka of Ramayana. Machanda Deva Brahman. That's what he says, na? Ayam Saraswati. What it came is my blessing. Everything that you speak, good or bad, truth or untruth, everything is coming from there. The day we realize and connect it to this reality, that it will get cleaned. If we do that upasana for ourselves, this Shabda upasana we have to do. If we do that Shabda upasana, this Shabda will come much purer, much holier, and much cleaner. It will come out. That's why I wanted to, connect all these to that shloka.